Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Outlanders. We have had quite a bit happen in the last couple of days as we have been recording and doing a fair bit of streams over the past couple of days. So, as you can see, we have a very big hole down here. This goes all the way down to wires 35 and I had the help of, I think, Storm and Char and Morgan all helped dig this thing out. So thank you very much to those three people who very kindly dug quite a lot of this. So this is going to be the major part of the base in which we're going to be, well, building and constructing a lot of things as I also work out what I'm going to do. But I have been reliably informed that we have some sales in our shop. So if we make our way over here, and let's pick over here first, we've got quite a lot of diamonds there, and there, and here as well. This is going to be, and there, a lot of, what is that, dispensers, and what's this, droppers. I think I'm going to need to really restock, and observers, and not so much the pistons, the sticky pistons, and hoppers, which I can't really replace now because I don't have many diamonds, and a couple in the leather, and of course a couple in the, what's that, the wool. So 61 diamonds is a lot of diamonds, so I'm going to have to restock that thing pronto to get as many diamonds as I can in the future. So I think I'll do that now, quickly, using all the stuff that I've got from here. Hopefully there's enough of these stone that I don't need to, that I can use. And while we're doing that, I managed to get quite a lot of copper blocks as well as raw iron blocks, so there's even bits that others took away, but that's pretty much all the stuff that I managed to get, including some of the ones that I had before, so that's quite a good start there as well. One thing that's becoming pretty evident to me is that I'm going to need a lot more redstone if I'm going to keep this shop up. I was only able to make about 80 of those, 80 of these, 80 of these, and 32 of those, so nothing in of the dispensers or droppers, which both require redstone, nothing in the hoppers, which need a lot more iron than I have, as well as a few bits and bobs. So redstone is going to be something I need to collect pronto, whether it be by buying it off other people or just going mining for it myself, which could be the better option. So I reckon I'm going to do that mostly off camera, just because mining is not something I like doing on camera and it's not particularly useful in a video, I reckon. However, I think we should turn to another piece of today's episode, which is these iron farms. Now, I've been leaving them for quite a while because I can't really be bothered doing them, and they take quite a lot of work to get in, especially the villagers, because we need, I think it's 20 villagers per segment, so 8 here, 8 there, and 4 here, which I think is 20, so, and then we need to do that twice, so 40 villagers all up. And I don't know if you've worked villagers, but they're really annoying and hard to manipulate and everything. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to have to set up a mini villager farm over here, and I don't want to send it to the nether because there's a massive lava lake around here, and that's going to make things difficult. So I might just have to transport them one by one into something where I can get them pretty easily. So what I might do here, I think, is if I dig this out a little bit, make it a 2x2 deep, or 1 by, something like this, and then something like, if I have a hole like this, just a little one that allows the baby villagers to drop down to here, that gives me the ability to transfer them out, I think. And then somehow or other I get them into a boat and transport them out. I think that would be the best way to do it. So that means I'm going to need a whole lot of bread or meat or something to breed up these villagers, and possibly quite a few beds as well, and see how we go. So I'm going to dump in, let's see, I've got in a lot of wheat. I just need beds and something to get the villagers out. So let's just quickly get that done. Actually, thinking about it, that I've just made a stupid mistake. The villagers, of course, can just jump down here into here, and that's not really going to work. At least not very well, I don't think. So I'm going to have to use my normal villager breeder, which is just this little thing here, And there's a villager out already, which is not good. Put the villagers on here, drop bread in, they drop their babies into this transport system, and I should be able to get them out. So, if I can catch this villager wherever he went, there he is. Come on, man. Come to Papa. Come into this little thing, and I don't want the head in there, which is a mistake, because I remember these things are now entities, not in Bedrock anyway. So, come on. Get into your boat. And is he going to get in? No, because I've put more heads in. Alright, let's get this thing, get this guy into the boat, get the other guy into the boat as well, and we should be golden. This is turning out to be such a bigger frustration than I ever thought it would be, because these villagers, if I just go like that, then you can see I'm forced out of the boat for some reason. I have no idea why, and it's really, really, really annoying me. But there, that worked, and then I jump out and the boat's back over there. So, something's a little bit odd, and I don't know what. So, I did manage to get one villager in, but yeah, it's just what's going on, and that's making this so much harder than it should be. Well, it took me a little while of dumping the bread in and moving these villagers about, but I have got them working, and of course there's only going to be 6 babies because I've only got 6 beds. So now I need to work out how's the best way to get these things out of here and up to another ramp into those villager things, which reminds me, I also need to get myself some workstations, 40 of them to be precise. I'm not exactly sure what the best way to do that yet is, but I think the most of them require wood, so we're going to have to turn all this stuff into wood, and then I think we're going to make ourselves a variety of ones, so not just our standard ones. Where's our table? So not just the standard cartography table, I think, or the fletching table. Fletching table actually is probably the easiest. So where's our flint that we've got somewhere around here that we're going to need? Because I'm certain I've got it somewhere. Maybe it's over there with these chests. Now, I'm hoping this little water chute is going to be enough to get the villagers up. So I might try and see if I can get one up. And if that works, then I'll just do the rest off camera. And probably not, I won't probably time lapse it because it's just going to be the same thing over and over and over again. But that should hopefully, if it's assuming it all works, should be just about there. So if now I need to figure out how to get these villages out. So if I go boat and hopefully they jump up, maybe. Hoping there we go, I've got one in my boat. So let's get this thing over to the villager farm or the iron farm and hopefully up that little staircase that I've built. And some 10 minutes later, I've got just one villager in, and I can't even stick a landing like that. I call myself a Minecrafter. So, just one villager, 10 minutes. So it's going to take me 800 minutes if I keep at that rate, which is not particularly a good rate. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing most of this off camera, and it probably won't appear in this episode again unless I happen to be flying over it or something. So I think, yeah, I'll just leave this for the time being and get on with other things and do this off camera just to get things done. But what I also need is a whole lot of wood, which I don't have. I need 40 beds for both of the 2 sides. So yeah, this is going to take a while to do, and hopefully by next episode I'll have it all done. And just before I move on to the next clip, I do actually have to confess something. I've been working on these 2 iron farms for the past probably about 5 hours or so, and it turns out that they're just a little bit too close, or maybe it's just the way I built it. I built this one first, and you can see it's working. You can see there's some cats, and hopefully an iron golem will go down eventually. So this one's fully working. Then I started building this one, put the beds in, and put workstations in, and some villagers in, and this one started stopping to work. So that's a little bit annoying. I think they're just a couple of blocks, maybe 10 or so blocks too close, and therefore the two villages are merging a little bit. So some of the villages in here were connecting to the beds there, and the villages there to this one. So it just wasn't working at all. So I think I may stick with one, and maybe in the future we'll move this one a little bit. But for the time being, this one's working, so I'm not going to interfere with it at all. and just try and get the iron built up. You can see I've got 50 or so iron in my inventory here, and another 15 in there. So that's working quite well indeed. Now, I've been thinking a little bit as to how I want this base to look, and I've come up with the idea that I'm going to have various walkways going around that probably at 5 to 6 blocks down, just to give it a little bit of depth and a little bit of height for various builds. Then I'm going to have walkways. The first one's going to be made of various types of wood, I think, underneath this pathway here, and then areas that I'm going to be using are going to be behind these walkways. So it'll be underground over here, which is going to need a lot more digging, but hopefully that isn't going to take too long or be too arduous like this one was. So I haven't yet worked out what I'm going to do on each various layer, but I'm thinking that I'm going to make the background of it black or some kind of black thing, and make the bottom some kind of lava lake or something that looks dark and menacing, because I want this entire base to be kind of like an evil empire kind of thing, so it is going to have to undergo radical change. Now, to get all the wood that I've been going to need, I have been coming over here to collect quite a bit of wood, using mostly spruce, jungle, and dark oak, but I'm going to need possibly a little bit of oak and birch as well, which thankfully there's a few areas over here, so I might need a deforesting project at some point to get that all done. So it's pretty simple, just plant a few trees, replant, and bone meal away. So if we look over here, we've got ourselves a fair bit of spruce and of jungle, and not so much of dark, which is really the one I like second most, with the dark and jungle, sorry, dark and spruce I think work quite well together. So that's something that will happen together. I've been experimenting a little bit as to how I want the pathways going around the external ring to look like, and I've come up with a couple of designs that will probably be on 2 different layers. So I've got the really red one, which is probably going to be the dark layer, the layer that's got all my evil secrets and everything that's going on there. But I do have a more natural looking one, which is probably going to host a few more functional parts of my base, perhaps the storage system, perhaps if I have the farms, I guess, and I probably need a 3rd layer, which I'm yet to come up with, but I think this is going to do me for a start. So I'm trying to work out, and I probably do want the sheep to get out of the way. I probably do want this to be on the 2nd layer, I think. So we've got the cobble, not the cobble, the deep slate and the quartz on the top, then we've got this one 2nd, maybe, so that kind of hides all the functional sections right in the 2nd layer, and then I got 3rd and 4th and so on to fill up with various things. So what this is going to mean is I'm going to need a lot of these woods and a lot of these leaves, and that of course means I'm going to have to find myself some nether wart and nether stem, also crimson stem and crimson wart, which is kind of the reason why I'm putting this off till later, because I don't really have some of those things yet anyway, and I'm not really sure where a crimson forest is, so I'm going to have to go hunting for that, probably off camera. But for the time being, let's get into the server and start building this one properly. Now I'm looking at this and I'm not quite sure how far out I want to build this thing. I do want the 2nd and 3rd layers to be just a little bit further out than the walkway on top, but I'm not sure if this is the solution. It's just 1 block out, so it's not really noticeable, but it will mean that there's a slight angle, so it'll be angled and then another one, so I could drop down if I wanted to, or add some extra overhangs or something, or even perhaps some other things just to keep it going. So I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go. The other solution is to go the other way and have this one, instead of being 1 out, it's 1 in, which allows me then to use chains or something to just keep it up a little bit more, which I'm not exactly sure how I want it to go yet. So still a lot of planning yet to go, but I'm thinking that going the in one might actually be the better solution. I'm still mulling it over, so a little bit to think about there. Where did I put the bed? I think I had a bed around here. There we go. So yes, I'm going to think on that for a little bit and see see what I come up with. And there we go. Now, unfortunately, my time-lapse didn't quite work. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's because my computer, which I used to record the time-lapses, sort of crashed, and I didn't notice until I had finished the entire thing. So that's a little bit unfortunate. However, I have gotten all the walls done. I've gotten it nice and smooth, at least mostly nice and smooth. I've gotten all the wood in, but haven't yet got the leaves, because I do need to go gather that. So I'm going to do that off camera, and hopefully I'm going to see what else I can do around here before I need to finish up the episode. Now, I've decided to do a little bit of construction or deconstruction around here just to see what I can do. Now, over here I can't really do too much because there's a lot of water over here and I don't really feel like draining a lot. So I've decided that I think I'm going to put in some cyan glass just to hold back the water, but also to give a little bit of a window, I think would be good. So if I put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can deal out the walls later. I can change out the bits later, but if I just do that, and I'm going to have to do a little bit of adjustments. But if I fill in this entire wall with glass, we can see there it holds back the water, and it provides a little bit of a window into the outer bit. So I may want to put in some decoration just out here to make this look a little bit better. So what I think I'll do is expand this wall a little bit further out and deal with what I'm going to do with that little structure over there, the one that's floating in the water. I might need to do something a little bit special with that, but we'll see what happens. And there we go, we can see I've now expanded the wall a fair bit, as well as put in some beam blocks on the outside of this thing, just to give it a bit of a frame. I haven't put it on the bottom, which I may or may not do in the future. And of course we've got ourselves the tower there, which is still just floating in the middle of the air. I might need to change that a little bit at some point, but that day is not today, because we have run out of time for today, so that's not a very good picture, is it? So thank you very much for watching. I shall see you in the next one. If I can quickly land. There we go. I shall see you in the next one. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you then. In which we shall have some very interesting developments happening on the server. I hope to see you then. Bye!